I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
Mike Tyson in his prime, I put that Mike Tyson up against anybody who ever lived. That guy was a special fighter. He was a juggernaut. Just you couldn't stop him. He was a different guy.
Mike Nightmare Tyson. That guy was a nightmare in the ring. If he missed you with his left, then missed you with his right, he'd bite you.
There was a time when the world trembled at the very mention of his name. Mike Tyson was not just a boxer. He was a force of nature, a human wrecking ball, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a fighter who destroyed opponents with a single punch and stared them into submission before a bell even rang. He was called Iron Mike, Kid Dynamite, and the baddest man on the planet. But behind that terrifying aura, behind the millions of dollars, private mansions, and roaring crowds, there was a storm quietly brewing. A tragic story of broken trust, personal demons, and unimaginable downfall. This is not just a story about boxing glory. It is the shocking tale of a boy abandoned by the world, turned into a ferocious fighter who rose higher than anyone thought possible, and then crashed harder than any sports legend in history. Cus D'Amato was a genius of psychology as much as boxing. He built Tyson into a machine. Cus taught him peekaboo-style defense, explosive head movement, and devastating combinations. He fed Tyson's hunger with a simple philosophy: fear is your best friend. Tyson absorbed it all, training relentlessly, transforming his broken childhood pain into raw power. By 16, Tyson was knocking out grown men in sparring. His punches were clocked at speeds most heavyweights couldn't even see coming. By 18, he had turned pro, and the boxing world immediately noticed. Tyson wasn't just winning fights, he was destroying opponents in under 2 minutes. In 1986, at just 20 years old, Mike Tyson made history by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion the sport had ever seen, defeating Trevor Berbick in a second-round demolition. Tyson's power was otherworldly. His speed for a heavyweight was unprecedented. Within months, he unified the heavyweight division, holding the WBC, WBA, and IBF titles simultaneously. After Cus's passing, Tyson's life spiraled. Promoter Don King entered the picture, and Tyson's career shifted from disciplined greatness to chaos. Surrounded by opportunists, Tyson's personal life became a circus. He married actress Robin Givens in 1988, but their marriage became a public disaster. Givens accused Tyson of physical abuse, and the media painted him as a violent, unstable man. In 1992, Tyson's life collapsed when he was convicted of rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison. The trial captivated the world, dividing fans and critics. Tyson maintained his innocence, but his reputation was destroyed. Once a global superstar, he became a symbol of scandal. Prison changed Tyson. He spent 3 years behind bars, reading extensively about history, philosophy, and religion. He studied boxing tapes and plotted his comeback. When he was released in 1995, Tyson was determined to reclaim his throne, but the world had changed. Tyson's return to boxing was a media spectacle. He demolished opponents like Peter McNeely and Frank Bruno, regaining the WBC and WBA belts. But this Tyson wasn't the same unstoppable force. The hunger that once drove him was fading, replaced by a desire for quick paydays. Tyson earned over $300 million during his career, but by 2003, he declared bankruptcy. Lavish spending, bad investments, lawsuits, and betrayal drained his fortune. Tyson's financial downfall was as shocking as his knockouts. He lost mansions, luxury cars, and even his prized pet tigers. Tyson admitted later that he had no idea how to manage money. He had lived in excess, buying fleets of cars and throwing wild parties. Behind the scenes, he was also battling addiction, depression, and an identity crisis. The man who once terrified opponents was now struggling to survive. Beneath the chaos, Tyson was always a deeply sensitive man. He was haunted by his troubled childhood, the loss of Cus D'Amato, and the weight of fame. He once said, "I'm scared of being that person I used to be. I don't want to go back to being that monster." Mike Tyson's life is a Shakespearean tragedy. A boy who was abandoned, molded into a warrior, crowned king of the boxing world, and then destroyed by fame and excess. Yet, despite his downfall, Tyson remains one of the most fascinating figures in sports history. His name is immortal not just because of his knockouts, but because of his journey, a cautionary tale of power, pain, and redemption. He is proof that even the baddest man on the planet can be vulnerable, broken, and human.